My name is Niharika Valia, and I am with you with the area of accounting and finance for bankers. There's a good news for everybody. The negative marking has been removed from the JIB and CIB examination, which is definitely a very good news from the point of view of the examination. Why? Because number one, now you don't have to worry about choosing the correct answer. You can still go and guess up the question answers. Secondly, the next point that arises is, since this is a new syllabus, you need that little spacing as well when you're preparing, because the psychological pressure is too much, because there is so much of uncertainty as well from the point of view of the examination, right? So if you're preparing for this exam, then you can definitely go ahead and you can freely look forward to your preparation now, right? Okay, so now let's move on with the topic of what are we going to deal with today. In today's class, we're going to talk about the area of the trial balance and their errors. In the last class, we were dealing with the trial balance. Now, today I'll be taking up the concept of understanding the area of the trial balance errors. Okay, in terms of the errors of trial balance, what do we really find? In terms of trial balance, as we know that it's a statement which is prepared, which is a compilation of all the scenarios which are related to the area of the examination. Okay. Trial balance is a statement which talks about compilation of all the ledgers which we prepare. So basically what we do is we compile all the ledgers and we then prepare the trial balance. While preparing the trial balance, we would find certain errors. So when we find those errors, what are those errors? Number one, if we talk about the types of errors, number one is error of principle. Principle means there are certain rules which are supposed to follow. And if we do not follow those rules, then it is basically errors of principle. For example, if expenses are taken as assets and if assets are taken as expenses, then what happens exactly here is the treatment would be the same. Both of them are debited, but the problem is one of them goes towards finding the profits or losses, while when we talk about assets, it would be either debited or credited, right? Assets are still debited. So basically, but this one would go towards the area of balance sheet. The problem arises here when all these areas are looking forward towards the preparation of books of accounts in such a way that the assets are taken as an expense, so that would decrease the profit because your expenses are increasing now. If your expenses are increasing, then it would be a big trouble for the organization. Why? Because if the profit is reduced, then with the reduction of the profits, you are answerable for what exactly you are dealing with the books of accounts, right? So you are supposed to tell that what exactly the organization is thinking about the books of accounts and why is there an error in terms of their recording of the books, right? So that means in terms of this, if for example, if a furniture is taken directly to the area of profit and loss account rather than recording it in the books of accounts here, then that's an alarming issue, because then the profit or loss would be more at this point of time and later on it would be less. So then we'll have to look forward towards the criteria. What are we dealing with exactly? Right? So the organization has to differentiate between the two. If there's an asset, then record as an asset. If there's an expense, record it as an expense. Then in terms of the errors which are clerical in nature, that means these happen when we are recording the books of accounts. While recording, there are certain errors that we face. What are those errors, everyone? In terms of the clerical errors, the number one that comes here is, okay, clerical errors includes error of omission. When you forget something to record altogether, you are forgetting to record it, is called error of omission. Error of omission can be of two types. One is partial and one is complete omission. Partial omission means you forget about that particular entry half-heartedly. That means you're recording the debit part but forgetting the credit part. You might be recording the credit part, not recording the debit part. When such a thing is happening, that is called errors of partial omission. Then we have the errors of complete omission. When you forget that particular entry altogether. For example, we purchased an asset but we forgot to record it. That's error of complete omission. That means we forgot about noting it in the journal entry totally and completely. Both the debits and the credits are not completely recorded. Then the next error the next types of errors that we can look forward to is the clerical errors. Under clerical errors, we also find a specific kind of error which is called errors of commission. Errors of commission means okay, we have a particular person named Ram. What if I forgot about the fact that am I talking about RAAM or RAM? That is kind of error of commission. Error of commission would include error of misposting, posting but in a wrong account. Transposition error. We sometimes look forward to about we can just change the position of our error of our accounts. It can be debited towards a credit error, or any specific accounting can be noted down in such a way. This is also kind of error where they might be recording both the parties towards the credit side but none of them towards the debit side. These kind of errors also occur, and then they also have a specific error called duplication error. One particular entry written twice would be called a duplication error. In error of entry reversal, the entire entry is reversed. That means nullifying the impact of that entry altogether, which would definitely hamper the recording of that journal entry, giving the wrong books of accounts totally. Right? Now, let's look forward towards the next portion. That is compensating errors. What do we mean by the compensating errors, everyone? Compensating errors refers to those errors which are related to an error which is impacting the debit side as well as the credit side. That means this would impact both sides together. So this error is hard to find, even hard to trace. If we look forward towards, there are many other errors which are hard to trace. Let me just correct it for you. Highlight the points which are hard to trace. Errors of complete omission are hard to trace because there is not a partial omission. Both the sides are not recording it. Error of misposting is normally found out only when we are auditing it. Transposition can be found out only if the both are noted on the debit side or the credit side. Duplication cannot be found out too. These are hard to trace. And even the error of entry reversal is also hard to trace. And the error of principal is again hard to trace overall. This cannot be found out, and even the compensating error. So you can see that many of these errors are very difficult to be traced down. These can only be traced only when you are actually checking the books of accounts, when the auditor is reviewing what exactly is happening with the invoices. Otherwise, you cannot find them. So that's a basic recording of these transactions. Now, the next point is, let's look forward towards the MCQs of the same. These are the different types of errors which occur in a books of accounts. But the point is, why do these errors occur? These errors are occurring because in terms of the books of accounts, we forget to record a few things. We forget to follow the rules of accounts. We forget to check what we are putting into the books of accounts. So it is going to impact the reliability of the books of accounts. So what do? We, while preparing the trial balance, we sometimes look forward to the other scenarios as well. What are those scenarios, everyone? The trial balance cannot detect what kind of errors. We've just talked about it. Errors of principles, errors of omission, error of the compensatory errors, or we can say all of the above. When we talk about the trial balance, the errors which are hard to detect would include error of principle, commission but omission, but which are complete omission. Both the sides it's not recorded. And then we have the compensatory errors which is impacting on the debit side as well as on the credit side. So the correct answer would be all of the above. All of these errors are hard to trace. Next point, everyone, the suspense account shows the credit balance, the debit balance, the profit and loss account, debit side, or both A and B. A or B. Basically, what happens is when we find that the trial balance is not matching, the moment you realize that the trial balance is not matching, what would you do? When the trial balance is not matching, what is it that the organization is going to do? Simple. The organization will basically take the debit side or the credit side, whichever side is shorter. If this is 20,000 and this is basically 15,000, so this part has also, it is also supposed to match. So we'll make the suspense account and we'll show it here as 5,000. This is a balancing figure. This is which would be shown just to make sure that both the sides would show the same amount. So basically it would be like 15,000 here and 5,000 here. So in the books of accounts, we'll show that part of 5,000 in order to show it in the books of accounts. So when we are recording it, suspense accounts is a specific account which would record the credit balance as well as the debit balance. It can have any of these balances. There's no specification regarding the suspense account. It can have a debit or a credit balance. It can be both A or B. Next point, when we look forward to it, it says the errors which occur while journalizing in the transactions and their posting in the ledger is termed as the ledger posting errors, journalizing errors, bookkeeping errors, or none of the above. See, while journalizing, one of the errors which are the hardest to trace down is the journalizing errors. Think about it, the error was there from the very beginning. If it was there from the very beginning till the time you haven't seen the books of accounts, you can't trace it down at all. So what do we do here in terms of such errors? These errors are called bookkeeping errors, the errors which occur while recording the journal entries is called the bookkeeping errors, right? Okay, let's move on to the next point, everyone. A journal entry was partially recorded by the clerical staff is an example of errors of omission, errors of commission, errors of principal, or none of the above. A journal entry which was partially recorded, that means it might be noted on the debit side or it might be noted on the credit side. So the errors which are recording a particular journal entry partially, not completely, but partially, would be errors of omission, errors of commission, error of principal, or all of the above. It's error of omission because we are forgetting it. It's basically recorded partially. This is basically omission means to forget the journal entry. It can be only on the debit side, it can only be on the credit side. Depending upon the scenario, it would be noted here. Okay, here comes the next question, everyone. Errors are of how many types? 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, as per NCERT, it is 4. In terms of the IIBF examination, it can be based upon the basics there. So this is a question that it might be different for you because there are varied kinds of errors. In a few sources, you will find there are only 2 types of errors. But when we study the NCERTs or the basics, they can have more than that even. But broadly, we divide into 2 types as we just did. That was the errors can be divided into the. Okay, let's go to the first page again. That will help you to understand how many kinds of errors are there. If we talk about it, it is basically error of principle and clerical errors. The clerical errors is further divided into so many types. So basically clerical errors is of 3 types and those 3 types are further divided into multiple types. So basically broadly you can divide it into only 2 parts. Right? Okay. Now let's move on. We were dealing with the questions. Okay, if I purchased goods from Mr. X has been recorded as a purchase of machinery from X, which type of error is it? See, I bought goods, but somehow I noted it as machinery. How will it be recorded? How will you record such an error, everyone? The point is, in such an error, what we can see is the goods were purchased or these were noted as machinery. So when such a thing is happening, basically what is going to happen is the profit or loss is going to, we are going to face a loss there because the expense is going to no, purchase of a good now, basically we are going to increase our profit. Why? Because an expense is increasing. Purchasing any good is an expense. If your expense is not recorded, then the profit would be more, and you might have to pay more tax just because you thought that we are having a machinery, not a good. So that is the point where we should record these transactions very carefully. Now, if we have errors of principles, error of omission, error of commission, clerical error, or none of the above, the correct answer is error of principle. When an asset is mixed up with an expense, or an expense gets mixed up with an asset, it's called error of principle. Right? This particular error is called error of principle. Moving on to the next question, everyone. It says the trial balance is not a part of double entry bookkeeping, only a working paper, is a statement, or all of the above. Unfortunately, trial balance could never get that much of importance because it doesn't give a conclusive proof. There are so many errors which can pass through a trial balance and will go without any detection. So basically there's still a question mark whether we'll record all these transactions properly or not. So when we talk about the trial balance, it is basically a statement which is all of the above. It's a statement, it doesn't give a conclusive proof. It is not a part of double entry bookkeeping because there are certain books which state that accounting cycle does not require trial balance. It is not a mandatory thing, it's an optional thing altogether. So it is all of the above. Then the trial balance takes its balances from ledger, cash book, both A and B, or none of the above. Trial balance takes its balances from both of these, from the ledgers that we are preparing, but also from the cash book. If in case we also have other subsidiary books, then we'll also take it from the other subsidiary books as well. If we have sales book, we'll collect all the data from the sales book and we'll take it to the sales account and we'll record it on the credit side of our trial balance. Okay, next question, everyone. If the depreciation is not recorded properly or inadequately recorded, then it is what type of error? Error of commission, error of omission, error of principle, or the clerical error. Whenever you find such errors which relate to the principles of accounting, such an error are called error of principle. I just said that particular terminology. When we talk about principles, it's like expenses noted as an income or expenses noted as an asset, because both of them are on the debit side now. So and ideally what happens is if an expense is taken as a particular, an expense is taken as an asset or asset is taken as an expense, it's a vice versa scenario, which is called errors of principle. So correct answer is errors of principle. Okay, so here it is, the end of the session, everyone. If you find this session useful, then kindly go ahead and check out our website for further details, as we are also we have also started our new batches for the JIB and CIB area. As you know that there is now a development that there would be the negative marking is deferred for a little while, so there you also have a sigh of relief there. So if you're preparing for the JIB and CIB examination, then kindly go ahead and check out our website for the further details. And this is our website, that is www.adda247.com, and on the website you can go towards the area, and while going down you can click on the area of JIB and CIB, where you will find our JIB CIB Mahapack, where you will find CIB 2023, JIB 2023. You can opt for the JIB and CIB Mahapack. This particular Mahapack is basically for both the examinations. It has a 12-month validity. That means you can prepare for both of these examinations, not only the complete batches which would include English medium as well as the bilingual, but also it would include all the batches which would be coming up. That means what kind of batches we're talking about? All live batches, all mock test series, all video courses, all revision batches, all recorded video classes, all ebooks, numerical batches, case study batches, even the topic wise question ebooks, as well as in-depth analysis of the subjects as well. So this Mahapack is not only one particular syllabus course, it would include test series, revision batches, numerical batches, whatever we are coming up for the JIB and CIB for the entire year. You'll get all the information, so you can look forward to this particular batch. And if you're preparing for this particular batch, all the details of all the faculty who would be there to teach you is covered here. All you can do is click on the area of buy now, and you can use the code Y541 and get the best of your discounts there. It would be at 78% off if you're going through the app, and you can get it for 12419. So if you're preparing for the JIB and CIB, hurry up and check out the courses. Along with this, if you're preparing for the JIB and CIB, then there's a JIB course separately given as well. So you can look forward to our JIB 2023 batch, where you'll find the English medium batch in the beginning only. That's the batch there. If you look forward to our batch, this is the batch 2.0, which is coming up soon. So you can find the details of all these classes. What you can do is go onto the area of buy now, and you can get again a discount of 78%. That means it would cost you 4599.77. So go ahead and check it out on our website or in our app. So if you're preparing for the JIB and or CIB examination, so kindly hurry up and look forward to our classes, because it has already begun and the beginners courses are going on. So you can prepare the basics of accountancy, the basics of every specific examination, that with the batches which we are started with in a proper timing, right? So let's look forward to our classes. Keep learning and growing, everyone, and have a nice day. Thank you.